Hello everyone, the sun's in my eyes, and here's a brown car. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. It's like brown, but good brown. Howdy folks. Today we're in a cloud. Ah yes, thank you. Here's the key for the E60 M5. You just squeeze it on into the hole and then you push your buttons. Music to my ears. Ah yes. Waiting. Is that just, okay. And then we press accept. I don't know how to use half of the features in here. If you were an American truck driver, like a Ram truck driver, you'd look at this and be like, let's put it into drive and turn the knob and nothing happens. And then you look down, you see 3 pedals and you throw up on yourself because you don't know what that means. It's not 2 brake pedals. So the E60 M5 has 2 drive modes and they're both my favorite. It has regular, which is 400 horsepower and you just sit and you cruise. And then it has M mode, which is conveniently placed on the steering wheel on my right thumb. You press it, it has the full 507 horsepower, and the side bolstering becomes activated. So anytime you take a tight corner, each side bolster will come in depending on what corner you're taking. Oh yeah, baby. That'll keep you nice and in line. The exhaust note on this car, as you're gonna hear from some of these clips, is quite delicious. Even with this open, it's not very loud.
Yeah.
Like we're having full-on conversations in here and I'm not using any power behind my voice. Granted, I am Greek, so I am naturally a loud person. A lot of V10s have a similar tone to them, and that's simply due to the design. S85 B50A. They need to have balancing inside the engines because they are a naturally unbalanced engine. And I'm not just talking about the M5, I'm talking about all V10s. Holy fuck! I think I remember hearing something about this having like a twin intake valve setup, not the engine valve, but the runners. Where it's like they open up after a certain RPM.
Yeah,
but
it has 10 individual throttle bodies.
I remember that. It does have ITBs, and that's why it has these giant plenums on here. We're in regular mode right now. I'm gonna get on it a little bit. Yeah, see, that's already plenty of power right there. It is a 6-speed manual, and the clutch is very light, but not cheap feeling light. It feels like the type of setup you want in a car that you spend $90,000 in. It's very like grandmother friendly. And like all BMWs, it does have the gas pedal attached at the bottom and not in the middle. And the reason they actually have that set up that way is so that around the track, it's easier to heel toe downshift. I'm gonna turn N-Mo on for this one corner right here, just so I have that bolstering. Those of you that do not know, the M division of BMW was created so that BMW can have a specific sports car. There is the BMW E60 5 Series, which is like a normal, nice, large, luxurious car. Nice. Are we in M mode right now?
No.
Oh. And then there's the M5, which is what we're in right now, which is the V10 500 horsepower 6-speed manual. Wow, that V10 stops this car when you're on compression strokes. Does it stop you when you're in M mode? Oh, even more so. What? That's crazy. Which, by the way, this is one of 1,300 6-speed manuals ever created for the E60 M5. This is definitely a car that I could see taken on nice Sunday drives every day. Every day is Sunday when you're driving the M5. The brakes on this car are phenomenal, probably the best braking I've felt in any car. That is partially due to how wide these wheels are. I think they're 10-inch wide wheels in the back. The brakes are enormous. Those are great brakes.
Yes.
That was like
They stop on a
50%
dime.
braking. Driving this car regularly in regular driving mode, it feels awesome. It feels very tame. You could drive this your entire life and have no idea that it has this type of power, because under 3 grand or under 4,000 RPM, really, it has power, but it has more of what I would call passing power. After 4,000 RPM, it has what I would call please hold on and buckle up power. Oh my God. It's like the difference between getting detention in middle school and getting out of school suspension in high school. Because you know you got to do something really bad in high school to get out of school suspension. Suspension wise, it's tight, but I wouldn't call it the stiffest because I have been in stiffer cars. It has that BMW feel. Like if I close my eyes, I know I'm in a BMW because it says, here, let me help you with that. Inside the cabin, it's very quiet. Like I'm used to yelling. The only exhaust modification of this car is a muffler delete. So the drone in this car, really, it's non-existent, honestly. And anything that you do hear from the engine-wise, I mean, you're driving an M series BMW. You kind of want to hear the engine. That's kind of the showcase of them. And the suspension. It does have tight, but not stiff suspension. Oh, that sound. I've noticed that because of the transmission being probably enormous, the gear lever actually gets a little bit of heat, but not in an alarming way. It feels like it's definitely connected to a mechanical object, which for me personally, that's nice. I like feeling like there's a mechanical connection to the car. The steering of this car gives you very good road feedback. You can feel bumps and bruises in the road, but you can also feel your grip, which is very important going around corners. Yes, E60 M5. The official car of that really cool tech ed teacher that you had in high school. Ah, Mr. Wire, I missed you. This has such a good exhaust note. Yeah. Now this is naturally aspirated, so when you get on the power, it's immediately there, but it does come on progressively. So think of it more like a volume knob rather than a rubber band, because for those of you that don't know, driving a high horsepower turboed car is like driving a rubber band. You press the gas, the front of the rubber band goes in front of you, and you're behind and you're waiting, and then boom, you're shot. This is more of like a volume knob where you're just progressively turning it on. So think of it like a movie that fades in very smoothly. It's cinematic. Driving this car kind of feels like watching a well-directed and well-edited action scene. You have that nice wide aspect ratio, that nice film stock where it's just slightly darker than you would normally see in a movie. It has that beautiful smooth fade in. Definitely not built on Windows Movie Maker. Now the interior of this car is wonderful. Like that, if there's one thing that I love about this car more than anything else about it, I sat in this and I fell in love with the seats immediately. The leather is beautiful. The side bolstering is automatic, but also you can adjust them to where you want it, so it comes in and out, which is something that I personally like. I don't like too aggressive, and I don't like non-existent. This locks because anytime you press on the brakes, if it didn't lock, it would just launch itself. This is the newest car I've been in that has ashtrays in it, like actual legitimate ashtrays for cigarettes. In 2009, this is the newest car I've seen with actual ashtrays in it. This is also one of the few cars that has strange cup holders that actually work and don't break, hopefully. Hopefully, I mean, it's a hopeful thing. Now, as for the seats, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm in love with them. Let me count with my fingers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 buttons to choose how you want this seat to work. The thing I love about this car is that you get inside it and it hugs you. It just holds you by the sides and embraces you. It says, I'm here for you. I love you. Let's go on a nice Sunday drive, just every single day with this car. BMW, good job for making a car that mixes in mechanical old school feel with new age modern technology. Hold on. No, you're kidding. This plays DVDs.
It's for the navigation.
This car has sat-nav, but I noticed that it has 2 CD ports, and the one underneath the main one says DVD. Apparently, this also takes discs for the sat-nav, just like the E39 540i that I reviewed a while back. Reverse lockout on this car is a 20-pound wall that you hit next to first gear, or next to neutral that's supposed to go into first or second gear, and you just have to muscle it over into the upper left-hand side. As soon as you put it into reverse, that passenger side mirror aims itself so gracefully down at the ground so you can park your expensive wheel setup right next to a curb and be very close to it. Because it is a wide car, actually. Proportionately, it doesn't look as big as it actually is. It's larger than my Saab 9.5. It's larger than most Mercedes I've been in. The physical size of this car matches the presence that it has. This car has M dynamic mode. Lets you control how you want your M mode to be, or your second M mode, which is MDM. You can set it so that you have the stiff suspension of M mode, but the comfort and throttle response of regular mode. Or if you're someone like me that's crazy, but also has like a little boomer heart inside of me somewhere, you want the soft and the non-aggressive seating and non-aggressive steering and non-aggressive suspension while having the throttle response and the power of an angry drunk biker that already has proven himself many times over. So the steering in this car isn't the same as the Evo, but it's very direct. So it's actually somewhat comparable. Like, you can tell it's a performance car steering. It turns in very quickly. It has the perfectly sized wheel, in my opinion. It's not too large, it's not too small. The ride isn't as soft as some other BMWs, so if you get in an M5, don't expect it to be the softest thing in the world. Like, if you have an elderly person in your family and you want them to ride in a car that's very comfortable, the back seats might be better for them because they have a little bit more cushion to them. The front seats, though, a little bit on the more aggressive side, and of course it is a 500 horsepower car. They want you to be sat in the seat and feel the road so you don't accidentally lose traction and, you know, cause a big problem. Now, if there is one car that you do want to obey the law in, it is actually this one, because this is a very popular car in, you know, Massachusetts, Connecticut area. I've seen personally with my eyes for drug dealers. Maybe not the M5 itself, but, you know, upscaled 5 Series BMWs of the E60 chassis. So in the comments down below, folks, tell me what you think of this E60 M5. Thank Josh for letting us have this experience and so that we can indulge in this, because we all know that I love indulging, and so do y'all. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this video with your mom, your dad, your cousin, your dog, your favorite car. You can play it in your car, you can play other things in your car. Don't play with yourself in your car while you're driving. That's illegal in most states. Thank you very much for watching this, and thank you for enjoying this, and stay marvelous. See you next time. I think that's the one. That's Is that not the coolest thing in the world? And then when you turn it off,